conversations and reviews. Show your brother some love. Go to his channel. Subscribe to his channel. King doing amazing things. We're going to talk about this thing. So in the meantime, grab your shoulder pads and your helmet and walk 8 miles with your boy. Let's take this to the end zone. Let's get it.
I am really big on helping people understand that sometimes when your emotions are so high, it clouds your judgment and you say very irrational things and you act irrationally. Now, granted, as I'm listening, I realized that what he did, it didn't warrant this reaction. This is something else that's going on. She's going on a deep end, okay? And like I said, I like my food to be hot. So I'm eating, I'm listening, but I really don't like to be disturbed when I'm eating. So I'm like, all right, hold on, honey. You're going to let me speak? You're going to give me a little moment? I'll let you vent. Like, at this point, this is over 30 minutes. I've let you vent. I've let you get it out. Do you want me to say anything? And she's like, no. She's like, I already know what you're going to say. No, I don't want to hear that right now. Okay, that's fine.
And that right there is a prime example of what women want a lot of times. A lot of times, the majority of the time, women want you just to listen to them. They don't want you to help them fix the situation. And that's
and not only that, they can know. They can absolutely know for a fact that they're wrong. But oftentimes, they want that pity party. They want you to side with them. Deep down inside, they know that they're wrong. Where men, on the other hand, men are logic. Men are problem solvers. Here's a problem. Here's a solution to the problem. Let's move forward.
That's one of the biggest differences between men and women. Women just want to vent a problem. Men are natural problem solvers. So as soon as we hear them vent, we want to go into the problem solving mode, but they don't want to hear that.
I've listened to this conversation. I've listened to you speak and run in circles. And not one time, because it seemed like every time you got quiet, you wanted me to interject. That's what it seemed like to me. But then when I did so, you start talking over me. So I told you, you know what? I'm going to let you figure that out. Whenever you're ready to have a conversation about this and actually work towards a solution, you can call me. But as of right now, I'm going to enjoy my food boundaries. Now, to get to the point, after a couple days passed by, once, she's kind of like resolved in her mind, her temper was better, she was able to actually process things, she calls me. Unfortunately, the damage was already done in her marriage. But she calls me and she says, I need your help. Okay. All right. Now we're working with something. Now, let me make sure that I have the capacity to be able to help you. Luckily, that day I did. So she was like, in this situation, Kitty, what would you tell a couple? Okay. The main thing is that she kept on saying that she didn't need her husband. My first go-to is, did you tell him that? Did you tell this man that you didn't need him? She says yes. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay. How did that go? What was his response? He blew up. Okay, well, if you don't need me, I don't need to be here. They ended up sleeping in separate beds that night, didn't talk to each other for a couple of days. So then I asked her, okay, do you feel like you don't need him? I don't need him. I don't need him. I can do this alone. I'm independent, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool.
When you begin to go off the deep end and you tell a man that, you're asking for trouble. You're digging your own grave. Because if that's the case, why did you marry him? If that is the case, why did you sleep with him and give him children? If that's the case, why did you move in with him? You have to be mindful of the things that you say, because they will come back and bite you in the end.
That's not the answer I wanted, Kitty. Well, stop saying that you don't need him. You married this man. This is your partner in life. Stop telling your spouse that you don't need him. This is your husband. So if you don't know, I'm all about perspectives. So let's look at different perspectives. All right. You say you don't need your husband. All right. You got friends? Yeah. You need your friends? Absolutely, I need my friends. Okay. Why do you need your friends? We go down a list. They're my support. Whenever I'm going through things, I can talk to them. We share memories. We laugh together. We go through life together. All of that.
Same thing you do with your husband.
You need your friends. Yep. Do you have those same moments with your husband? I heard her smack her lips. No, let's be for real. Let's be for real. Do you not share laughter with your husband? Do you not get through life with your husband? Do you not get different perspectives and advice and support and encouragement and things like that from your husband? Yeah. In that moment you didn't. Or am I mistaken? She goes, in that moment, I didn't. I felt like I wasn't getting the right amount of support. So you just completely cut off your husband and say you done with him. You don't need him because in a moment he had something that pushed against Or maybe in a moment he had a just whatever, just human fault, because we're human. He had a moment where he couldn't be the support that you needed. But
and we see it time and time and time again, every day and twice on Sunday. And this is how and where they shoot themselves in the foot and wonder why they can't keep a man. Wonder why a man ain't checking for them. You need to watch your mouth. You need to learn when to bridle your tongue.
whenever your friends can't be supportive or they're going through their own things, you don't say that you're going to cut your friends off. I hear her choke up. All right. So I'm like, all right, let me lighten up, because I hear she's crying and stuff now. You know, she's trying to hide the fact she's crying, but you can hear about her nose sniffs and all that stuff.
Now listen to what she just said. The fact that now this woman sniffing up is about to start crying. There are content creators that say women are children. And I would like to give women the benefit of the doubt and say that doesn't apply to a lot of them. But let's be honest, it really does. Even from what this young lady was saying as far as having her call back at a different time because she was way too worked up the first time she talked to her. She needed a few days to calm down. But as she said, the damage was already done. And can you imagine as a married man, your woman looking you in the face and telling you, I don't need you? Well, get the hell out of my house then. That's what I would say. But I'm convinced a lot of this stems from social media. She just said it. The woman said, oh, I'm an independent woman. How are you a strong, independent woman within a marriage? You're not independent. You're dependent on your husband. You're not single. But social media has corrupted so many women's minds. They'll regurgitate nonsense that they hear online, even if they themselves, one, don't truly believe it, or two, if their situations are the same as those women that are quoting online. A woman will look a man in the face and tell her husband, I don't need you, but she know damn well she need him. But it's something that she's seen on TikTok. It's something that a woman that she follows on IG said. And they would just spew the same talking points, even if it's extremely detrimental to their situation, and be a...
But when that man says, you know what, fuck it, I'm done, I'm gone. Now you sitting there crying. Now you in your feelings. Here's the thing. All that social media shit, you have to be careful of who you listen to. When you start listening to Shira 7 and Princella, you're fucked. Instantly. Automatically.
To it until the consequences hit them.
All right. And so I'm like, all right, let me slow down with you real quick. Exactly what do you need from me right now? And she was like, tell me exactly what you would tell your couples. So I tell her, baby, men need to be needed. That's where their sense of purpose comes from. That's where a lot of their fulfillment comes from. Men are taught to be protectors, providers, problem solvers, and they want to feel valuable. And so they really need those meaningful connections. That's how they express their love and care. Now, even with these roles, it doesn't mean that they will not drop the ball. They're humans. When we speak of human element, people go through things. People have life experiences, situations that sometimes alter the way they see things. It alters their empathetic responses, but it doesn't mean that they don't care about you. It just means that in that moment, they probably can't give you the response that you actually need. But then she goes, well, why did he draw back? Why did he just walk out? Why did he just stop talking to me? Because you told him you don't need him. If he doesn't feel valued, you simply don't need him. You just hit his confidence.
And when you come at a man like that, and he falls back and he steps away, you know why. Well, he's supposed to accept it and deal with it. He's supposed to stay there and no, probably in your world and in your mind. But when you disrespect a man, and that man is done with you, especially if he made up in his mind he's done with you, you're fucked.
Right? You just really took a jab at his esteem. Why is he going to be motivated to do more when you just specifically told this man, in other words, he's not valuable to you? I pull back then and I say, okay, let me not come from a psychological standpoint. Let me talk to you as your sister in Christ. You are a believer of God. When you married your husband, you came together under God, and God granted you that union. So now we need to make sure that we keep this union together, tight knit, even in these hard moments. We do so. That's your partner through life, through the good and the bad. Your husband is your sounding board during difficult times, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't have his own difficult times. And in their nature of being strong, because that's the expectation and that's the way they've been conditioned, men don't always show that. They don't always show those moments of weakness. So from a more biblical standpoint, I said, you need your husband. Let's
Yep.
get into the word. I said the word says that your husband is supposed to support and guide you and your family to faith. That is in the book of Ephesians, honey.
Anyone who watch my channels knows that I'm an atheist, I'm a non-believer, and I don't take a lot of religious people serious because of what she's just saying right now. This woman, alleged Christian, is willing to throw her marriage away. I thought there was vows in the covenant that you took with God, Miss Religious Person, when you got married, but now I don't need them, I can just throw them away. Jesus didn't die for this shit, yo.
I gave Eve to
I don't
Adam.
think.
Adam needed a companion. But even when he gave Eve to Adam, they both became partners in life.
You see what I'm saying? There is a difference. Are we all perfect? No. Do we have flaws? Yes. Do we all battle with personal things? Yes. But it's how you deal with those personal things. It's how you deal with life when it throws you a curveball. Most people are not trained to deal with life when it throws them a damn curveball. In most cases, some individuals will crack under pressure and run.
They loved one another. They processed and went through life with one another, regardless of what happened. You need your husband. That is your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual safeguard. He is the provider and the protector of you, your marriage, your home, baby. Ephesians 5:25 talks about your husband loving you as Christ loved the church. That's sacrificial love. What better love than sacrificial love to understand selflessness and commitment? We need that as wives. We need to experience that. We need our children to see that. Not only is he your husband, he's your children's father. He plays a significant role in the household.
Right.
A father's active role in a household is important.
It is so important that our fathers are in the household. You have, on one hand, you have more women that grew up without their father. On this hand, you have women that have grown up with their father in the home. In some cases, mom and daddy are still together. Versus maybe dad is not in the home, but he's still in his daughter's life. Co-parent, we'll use that terminology, co-parent. Versus over here, there's no co-parent. Daddy's not in the home.
Necessary. The word speaks on the importance of a husband and a wife's union. We need that. So she listens and she actually takes it all in and she's like, you know what, Kate, this is why I love you. I can't stand you because you get me together, but I love you. And I say all things with love. My circle, they already know what it is. But let me tell you something, as I would tell any of my clients, when your emotions are high, your judgment is clouded.
I agree.
And a lot of times when
Yep.
we're operating from such intense emotions, we say very hurtful things that are consequential that we cannot take back.
Nope.
We can't take those things back. Be mindful of what you say when you are angry. Be slow to saying angry things. Those brash, hurtful things, be slow to them. And I understand that in a moment you're so upset, but baby, you got to get that together, because it's so much power in telling a man you don't need him. There's so much power in you telling your husband you don't need him. Don't let the enemy come into your marriage. First of all, don't let the enemy attack your husband, because the enemy can use you to attack and break down your husband. Okay? We need our significant others. As wives, we need our husbands. And husbands need their wives. Remember that.
Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. I'm a new channel, trying to grow and get this word out. Go be the best you can possibly be. Peace, love, and blessings. One.
Yeah.